The Legacy of the Mendez Family, written by Rachel Ingledew and Catalina Garcia. This is the story of Sylvia Mendez and her Mexican-Puerto Rican family. She was born in Santa Ana, California in 1936. This is where she grew up, facing discrimination as a young child because her skin was darker than others. In the 1940s, she faced discrimination everywhere she went. At a young age, Sylvia recognized that her skin was darker and realized she was treated differently. Hispanics were segregated into separate schools, neighborhoods, and even restaurants. This is one of the many signs that were posted at public places. "We serve whites only, no Spanish or Mexicans." Sylvia Mendez knew as a young child that she was not accepted at these establishments. She grew up in a segregated community. In California, Sylvia was expected to go to a small Mexican-American school that was in the center of the Mexican neighborhoods. In the Mexican-American schools, there were very little resources to help them throughout the school year. The building was small and was not in good condition, and the teachers did not seem to care for the students. In these schools, Mexican children were taught skills necessary for work like quilting and cleaning. They did not attend academic classes such as math and science. Every day, the Mexican-American students were dropped off in front of the school for white children. They recognized how nice the building was, and they envied the playground in front of the school. Sylvia always wondered, why can't I go to that nice school? The white school had resources for their classrooms, and white children were being taught higher-level academic classes. They were not learning how to clean or cook. In 1943, Felicitas and Gonzalo Mendez applied for their children's entry to a school in Orange County and were denied. This is because the school was a white school and Sylvia's skin was too dark. On this same day, however, Gonzalo Mendez's niece and nephew were accepted into the same school because of their lighter skin. The Mendez family recognized how unfair it was that Sylvia would not receive an education like her cousins simply because her skin was darker. At this time, there were many other families who had similar experiences to the Mendezes. In response to this discrimination, the Mendezes and these families joined together to fight against the unjust decisions of these schools. Sylvia's father, along with the other families, sued school districts in California for rejecting Mexican-American students' access to their schools. Legally, Mexican-Americans were white and should be allowed to gain an education in a white school. Sylvia knew her parents were fighting to get her into this school because it was nicer and had better opportunities. But at Sylvia's young age, she didn't fully realize what they meant. Mendez v. Westminster was the first federal lawsuit that challenged separate but equal. The Mendezes and other families were fighting against discrimination and segregation. They were fighting for equal rights for their children. In 1946, Judge Paul J. McCormick favored the Mendezes' case and stated that separate is never equal. The Westminster School District appealed Judge McCormick's decision, and in 1947 the appeal was heard in San Francisco. By this time, many families across the United States had heard of Sylvia Mendez and knew about her family's fight for equality. In the end, the Mendez family won the case. From this point on, Hispanic and white children would learn together in the same classrooms. At first, this was a huge change. The white children would give Sylvia strange looks and tell her, "Mexicans don't belong in this school." Sylvia didn't understand, and her feelings were hurt. She asked her mother if she could return to her old school because the white children did not want Mexicans at the same school. Her mother explained to Sylvia that they fought for Sylvia and the other Mexican-American students to go to the same school as the white children and have the same learning opportunities as them. Mrs. Mendez explained, "You must understand that you are just as equal as that boy. This is what we fought for. You are just as good as he is." Winning this court case was a huge step for Mexican Americans' civil rights. After this case, some theaters, restaurants, and pools desegregated, and housing became easier to find in California. Today, Sylvia Mendez continues to share her story and be recognized as an American civil rights activist. In 2011, Sylvia was honored at the White House during National Hispanic Heritage Month. President Obama awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor available. Sylvia Mendez held a crucial role in the landmark case Mendez v. Westminster. Mendez v. Westminster began desegregation between whites and Hispanics. This case helped pave the path for the better-known Brown v. Board of Education case 7 years later.